welcome to the third review of the evening. Up this time is Crazy Trucks. Jump into this pure arcade gameplay and shake up the monster truck world by dominating your rivals in an extreme face-to-face confrontation. Party racing game for 1 to 4 players. Monster truck themed arenas. Realistic, slightly crazy physics. Dozens of trucks to choose from. Over 10 game modes with additional settings. High scores to compare yourself with friends. Numerous tracks customized for game modes. Customizable victory conditions. Game modes. Soccer, a soccer match designed for 1v1 or 2v2 players. Elimination, clear the area of your rivals before they get you. Storage wars, collect and store tires scattered across the map. Challenge, jump over your rivals on the world's highest ramps. Endurance, race against opponents on challenging tracks. Scrabble, complete the slogan by collecting lost letters. Collect, find items scattered throughout the arena, and more. I have some questions about how they're able to name their modes Storage War and Scrabble.
Yeah, I was somewhat baffled at that too.
Anyway, so we were given the Nintendo Switch version. So that means over to the Galax.
Caveat to the entire review, I was not able to play with my friend because it's been impossible to get together with him for the last couple weeks. So this game probably sucks significantly less if it's more than one person dealing with the various issues of the game instead of one person pretty much just playing against not even really a computer, but just the game itself. There is like a race mode, but it's like the fifth one down. It's clearly not what they're really trying to sell the game on. As you can see from the picture, you're playing, it's basically monster trucks, but their wheels are gigantic novelty donuts, and it controls like that. There is no subtlety to the controls at all. You pretty much you go forward and you can slow down, but it's hard. And when you slow down, sometimes you flip forward or on your sides. Sometimes if you're going even slightly too fast off a jump, you will get air and then not be able to, like, how in Excite Bike you can lean forward and back to try to land smoothly. I never managed that. It might be there, but if it is, I don't know how it works. And when you inevitably end up in a position where you can no longer drive. Remember that monster truck game we played that one time where they had a thing where it encouraged you when you fell over to try to get back up manually, and it told you like how to do that by like turning to one direction and whatever?
Yes.
This game doesn't do that. Pretty much what you do is there's a button to right yourself. And you have to come to a stop before you do that. Which takes a while if you're doing anything. All of the modes are by default timed, although you can change. As it said, it took me a while to figure out how to change these. But you can change how long a match goes for, or on the goal-based ones, what the goal is. I did not find a large number of tracks. I found a few tracks, and most of them were not selectable in most modes. A lot of the time, you're just in the same debris-strewn acrobatics field. They also kind of double up a little bit on the modes. Collect and Scrabble are very similar. The only difference is that in Collect, you're just collecting interchangeable items, and in Scrabble mode, the letters that make up the words Crazy Trucks appear over time. And if you collect them in order, you get way more points than if you collect them out of order. The Storage Wars thing was neat because you drive around the place and try to pick up trucks and then bring them back to some things to load them in. But the controls are ass, so I only ever managed to kind of get one tire back, and then I got my truck stuck on the trucks that you drop the tires off on. When you're playing in one-player mode, at least, when you complete one of the things, your choices are to do the same thing over again or go back to the main menu of the game. There's no like back out and tweak settings that I could find, which would have been nice because I frequently wanted to tweak the settings because the default settings are quite short matches. So yeah, it's a monster truck game that tries to be cartoony to compensate for the fact that, well, not to compensate for, but the fact that the physics are ass would be excused by the fact that it's cartoony, I guess. The missiles presumably are only there in modes when you play with more than one person, which I was not able to do. So, as a single player experience, I would give a strong do not recommend to this, I think. Because there's not enough to it, even at $5, I don't think, to justify it as a single player thing. For multiplayer, if you enjoy going head to head and like fighting against janky controls as much as you're fighting against each other, because at least once on one of the actual racetracks, I caught kind of air and landed with my on one of those barriers that you have at the edge of the road, with the barrier going between my front wheels and my back wheels, and I counted as being flat, so I could not reset the physics to get to a place where I could move. And that was not particularly fun, even in that. But yeah, if you have someone else to play with and you enjoy like exaggerated physics games where you really feel like you're driving around on giant novelty donuts, at $5, it might be worth a check out. But there are definitely like better monster truck games that I've been forced to play for this podcast. I think that's about all I got, really.
It is amazing how many monster truck games you've been forced to play. It's if you had nickels, you'd have 2 of them. It's not a lot, but it's amazing it's happened more than once.
Is it 3?
You didn't have Steel Titans 2.
Okay.
That was Petty Fan and I, since we got the PC version of that. Like, anyway, anything else on Crazy Trucks?
Not really. It's a pretty simple game. I mean, I guess I appreciate that there are a lot of game modes, but they forgot to make them, like, good.
Right. And you'll note the price there at $4.99.
Mm-hmm.
But sounds like it's not even worth the $5.
Certainly not without someone else to play with.
All right.
With someone else to play with, it's like, maybe. But on the other hand, like, you could get something from McDonald's.
All right. So that'll about do it for Crazy Trucks. Be sure to tune in after the break as we will be reviewing Risen.